If you're trying to break into data science in 2026, you've probably noticed something. Everyone has their own keys to the kingdom. One person says you need a master's, the next person says you need to grind lead code, and someone else is going to tell you their data science certificate is going to get you hired. It is overwhelming, and half the time you can't even tell if the advice is genuine or if they're just there to sell you their course. So here's where I'm coming from. I was a data scientist at Meta, and I've gotten offers from companies like Google, Spotify, Airbnb, and more. And I've also helped coach 20 data professionals into landing jobs in the last year. But I'm going to be honest with you and upfront, it took me 6 years and a whole lot of failed interviews to get my first data science offer. So this video isn't do these 5 things and you're going to get hired in 30 days. This is going to be the exact roadmap that I wish someone had handed me when I first started applying for data science jobs. So I wasn't wasting time on things I didn't need to do. I even put the whole thing into a free document that you can download with only the resources that I trust linked inside. So if I had to start all over and become a data scientist from scratch, here's exactly what I would do. Step 1, you're going to pick one coding language, SQL or Python, and get dangerously good at it. Look, there's really no getting around this one. You need to be fluent in either SQL or Python, but you only need to pick one. You're going to pick one of those 2 languages and get so good at it that you could build an entire analytics or machine learning project from start to finish without reaching out to Google or ChatGPT for help. And this is also where most people are unconsciously sabotaging themselves. They learn a little bit of SQL, then a little about Python, then they jump into R, and they end up scratching the surface of everything while mastering none of those languages. But depth is going to be more important than breadth when it comes to learning to code. So choose one language, go all in, and don't let yourself move on until you can code without using external help. Step 2 is going to be building your product sense and your business sense. Here's the thing people are not talking about enough when they're talking about coding. Your job as a data scientist isn't to run queries. It is to use data, analytics, and machine learning to drive business and product decisions. You are going to be tested on your product sense and your business sense during your interviews, and you won't land a job without it. The biggest game changer for me when I was prepping for interviews was reading the book Cracking the PM Interview. I read that thing cover to cover 2 times before I landed my first offer. And if you're thinking, this is written for product managers, is it actually going to work? Yes, that is exactly why it's going to work. You're going to spend your entire career sitting next to a product manager, and this book is going to teach you how product decisions get made through a lens that I found more helpful than just reading data science books. On top of reading, make sure you're also learning from data scientists who are in the industry. So I will reach out to data scientists in the industry that you're targeting, and to analytics and data science managers, and to product managers who also work alongside them. Talk to as many people as you can. Try to get a 30-minute coffee, ask them what they do, ask them about the projects they work on, and get really specific so you can really understand how they use data in their day-to-day. Every single person defines their jobs a little bit differently, so I find that the more people you can talk to, the sharper your instincts and your intuition will become. Step 3, we're going to lock down statistics and your core ML foundations. Statistics is a broad, massive field, so let me save you some time. Don't try to boil the ocean. For right now, you'll only need solid fundamentals plus the core machine learning models. So that means we're not thinking about deep learning or computer vision or LLMs yet. I promise you we'll get there, but that also becomes a lot easier once we get our statistics foundations locked down. So let's earn those first. If you studied statistics back in college, I would just dust off your old textbooks. I found that it jogged my memory and saved me money when it came to learning. But if you are starting from scratch, Stanford's Introduction to Statistics course is available online. I think it's on Coursera. You might find it elsewhere too. I put a link in my roadmap. That link is in the caption. And of course, since we live in a world with AI, I highly recommend using ChatGPT or Claude as your personal tutor. Anytime a concept is unclear or confusing, put it in one of these chat tools and go back and forth with it until it makes sense. Ask questions, nitpick the assumptions, ask for applications. You want to make sure you really internalize these concepts that you are learning. Step 4 is going to be networking. And I know networking sounds silly, it sounds sleazy. Personally, I don't like it either, but this is the step that actually decides who gets the job. I can't tell you how many data science managers I have talked to recently that told me they only hire through referrals these days. Why? Because there are so many AI tools out there that allow you to apply for tons of jobs. And that also means that every job gets a ton of applications. So instead of having to sift through those many applications, hiring managers are preferring to turn to their networks to find people to hire. For networking, I'm going to start by making 2 lists. Number 1 is data scientists you already know, and number 2 are people in your target industry in any role, doesn't matter what role. Now you're going to message every single one of them on LinkedIn, asking them for a quick coffee chat. And please, I implore you to write these messages yourself. Don't use AI. It's so obvious when a message is written by AI, and it makes it look like you don't even want to put in the effort to ask them for their time. And in that case, why would they want to spend 30 minutes with you? Now, once you're able to get a coffee chat with someone, be direct with your ask. So I would tell them explicitly what you are looking for in your next role and say, are you open to referring me? If their company isn't hiring in the moment, that's fine. Ask them to keep you in mind if something does open up. But here's the part that a lot of people forget. You need to make sure you are remaining top of mind for these people that you're building these relationships with. That means once a month, once every 6 weeks, send them an article, send them a check-in, ask them how they're doing, so you can remain top of mind for them. And of course, there is a fine line between pestering someone and keeping a relationship warm. Always remember the concept of reciprocity. Give before you ask. Give someone a compliment, offer them help, send them a news piece that you think they might be interested in. Don't just ask for favors without giving something first. This is the one that's going to help you stand out from your competition. And finally, step 5 is going to be building out your AI toolkit. This is the most 2026 step on the entire list, and it's the one that people seem to be sleeping on the most. I'm not talking about asking ChatGPT a one-off question. Everyone and their mothers are doing that. I'm talking about actually weaving AI into how you work, because companies are now evaluating candidates on exactly this during the interviews. So here's what it looks like in practice. We're going to have Claude Code or Cursor write, debug, and iterate on our code. And to be super crystal clear, this does not replace the fundamentals, especially number 1 of learning how to code. Instead, we're learning how to use AI to help us code faster, but we still need to know the coding fundamentals ourselves. Number 2, you're going to build one project end-to-end with AI in the loop, from exploratory analysis, modeling to the write-up, and you want to be able to explain where you use AI to help you and where you didn't, and what your thought process is. Finally, I will also get comfortable using AI native tools for other parts of the job. For example, you might use Notebook LM for learning or Gamma for creating slides. This is going to be so important because when you get asked in your interviews, you don't want to just say, oh yeah, I use ChatGPT. Instead, you want to say, I use Claude Code to build agents and automate my workflows. And in doing so, it makes me a lot more efficient. Here's what I trust AI in. Here's where I don't trust AI in. And here's how I built evals and feedback frameworks to make sure I'm making the most out of my AI. Step 6 is going to be practicing for your interviews like it's your job. You do not want to wait until you've landed an interview to start practicing. If you start then, you're already too late. Instead, start today while you're still learning everything else. You're going to drill SQL, Python, Product Sense, and Business Sense case studies on platforms that you trust. Again, these are all linked in the roadmap, and a few of them, including my own, are free to get started. We're going to treat these practices like reps in a gym. A little bit every day is going to get you more gains than trying to cram everything the night before an interview. And one last thing that's becoming increasingly important is companies are watching how you use AI during the interviews. Some of them are now letting you use AI on coding tests on purpose because they want to see how you prompt, how you catch a wrong answer, how you push back on a bad output. So practice the exact same way you practice the SQL problem. Build the muscle now so it feels completely natural during your interview when you're tested on it. So that is the 6-step roadmap, the one that took me 6 years of trial and error to piece together. I've condensed all of that down so you can get a job much faster than I did. None of this is flashy. Honestly, it's pick one coding language, build product sense, nail your statistics foundations, network harder than you want to, get comfortable with AI, and practice relentlessly. I dropped the entire roadmap plus every resource that I trust into the free doc. It's linked in the comments below, so go get your copy. All right, that's it from me. I am genuinely rooting for you. Now, go get to work.